this before deleting, it's a concept what allows you to look at your music from slightly different perspective. We all have those moments that the music doesn't work. We are almost there to basically say goodbye to it and start from scratch. What if there is another option available to us? Are we gonna say no to it or embrace it? When we write music for big band, or someone else asks us to write, someone who doesn't have any idea, or maybe does, but most of the people say, please write the music for the big band, no problem. But then for us, it's just, it's a perspective thing. I'm looking, it's like, oh my goodness, I have to make 21 instruments work. If I'm lucky, I'm going to deal with 16, 18, 21 instruments, right? They're supposed to relate to each other and follow a specific harmony movement. I need to make sure that the music is interesting, that the music begins, ends, and there's some kind of climax in it, some kind of bridge, which basically is supposed to stand out from that chorus, from that verse, etc. So I'm thinking it's a freaking large project, right? So there's two perspectives. For someone who asks you to write, it's like, it's not a big deal. See you tomorrow, right? Give me some samples tomorrow. For us, it's a brain damage circumstances. Now, the first thing, I'm gonna sit down and try to hear that music in my own head. Once I hear it, I want to manifest it in physical reality. So what do? In my situation, I use digital audio workstation. It could be a Pro Tools, Cubase, whatever. I use Luna. So now, I set all those instruments right in my project, and I start spilling the chords progression, the voicings, etc. After a while, you may come across that impression that, holy smoke, everything is so messy. So what do I do next? First reaction would be, let's just delete the whole thing and start over. You may consider taking another approach. Instead of deleting, we are going to polish one of the tracks. The track what basically everyone tries to relate to, and use it as a pilot to polish other tracks. Polish, which means clean up, putting everything in perspective of that pilot voice. So today's video beautifully describes, similar circumstances what we could find ourselves in. And this is a physical proof that after a while, when we start cleaning, we get a clarity of the direction we are going towards. Instead of destroying all the saxophone tracks, we are gonna dive into the trombone and make certain adjustments. Since piano plays the trombone line, we are gonna use the piano track to polish that voicing. Once it's done, we're gonna copying it into trombone, and just remember, when you look at the trombone track right now, it got the piano comp, which means 2 different octaves playing at the same time. Doesn't make sense if you have access to one trombonist. So this is where the ear training comes handy, and you start measuring the relationships. We try to polish 4 different horns with the bass line. Okay. We could benefit by playing this note with just a little bit sooner. So look, I'm measuring the alignment with other horns. You see this whole mark moves. Nice. That's a mistake. So they play very similar rhythmic pattern. That's why I want to polish it. Bop, we have to punch these in the perfect booty. Ba-do bop bop, dub do bop. Ba-do boo bop pom. this second note, it's necessarily, we could extend this one just a bit longer and have a tremendous punch with forte. Beautiful. Let's take a listen. All right, so now the trombone voice is out. We'll duplicate that piano, drop it into trombone, and guess what? We'll eliminate one of the voicings. I'm assuming top voice. It's going to be out. Yeah, it's too high. Let's eliminate, let's just leave tenor and alto and baritone. Sometimes it's good to leave that trombone high. This E is the last note of the register. All right, let's recall soprano and baritone. All right, beautiful. Eliminate the bass track, copy the trombone track into the bass. Copy, drop, bass line. You see with the bass, the reason why we chose the lower voicing for trombone is this beautifully complements the bass line in unison. Otherwise, we could end up with another octave. So there could be too much math sometimes, because the harmony of movement, it's already complicated, and the rhythmic structure brings even more confusion. Okay, so there's an element within us what basically wants to start simplifying things. Otherwise, we could end up with a lot of trouble. Let's add the piano bass line into that exchange. I know it's a lot of work, But what we love about this kind of workflow, you see, everything what you hear, you're gonna hear in the recording studio. No doubt, 100%. What you write down here and create those balance between horns, it will manifest in the recording studio. Period. Which means there will be no surprises. It's like, oh, I'm hearing it great here, but when I bring the same music to the recording studio, it's like, what's going on? It's not the same. Okay? Because we decided to give one horn per track. Record that horn and then measure that relationship with other horns. Okay? The reverb is just the only effect what we use right now to create some kind of spaciousness, to play that mental game, right, of hearing the final result in the end. But just remember, this is just the MIDI recording. It's already feels powerful. We didn't use the trumpets. We didn't use other trombones. How about that? It's just 4 saxes, 1 trombone, and rhythm section. Now we are going to mute that piano bass line and unmute the comp, which basically is exactly what the saxophone section plays. I'm trying to adopt this concept like one step at a time kind of thing. So instead of seeing this larger picture, I concentrate on a specific location and make it better. Clean the track, organize the track, quantize the track if it's needed. Just remember this music exists for only one reason. So we translate this music into a music sheet and then give it to musician, which means this music is gonna be recorded in the recording studio. I don't have to be perfect with it. However, I wanna hear what's in it. See the difference? So I'm gonna polish that track to the point that I can clearly hear the vision. Once I have it, I use it as a pilot to polish other tracks and compare them against it. In the end of the day, we want to eliminate amount of noise out of your music. So what's left is just clear sound of that future arrangement. 1, 2. So we just duplicate the bass piano track. I'm gonna mute the previous one, go to my library, and then we are gonna change the sound. I'm looking for like an electric human voice. Holy smoke. Jazz. Da, do, ba, da. Beautiful. Simple. So we are choosing jazz voicings. Okay, it's just a sound. Let's take a listen. This is the example why we shouldn't be overreacting to something what doesn't work yet. We could very easily eliminate that piano bass line, but this time we just muted it and try a different VST plugin, different sound on top of that voicing. Now we can bring back that piano bass line. If we mute piano bass line, trombone bass, and the drum set. When I choose to work on a music piece unlimited time, I find myself dwelling about the direction, about voicings, like the workflow kind of become diminished. The success in the end reminds me of running a marathon. In the end, you're totally destroyed, right? You put your body into a tremendous amount of physical distress. So over the years, I came up with this idea of working smart. Smart for my brain, for my heart, for my body, for my mental health. So I give myself a limit. I'm going to work on that music piece, on that specific area of it, for an hour. After an hour, I walk away. How long? It could be 15 minutes, could be 1 hour, could be another day. It's not a big deal. But I know that during that time, I'm going to be extremely focused. Which means I'm going to push myself. I can feel the clock ticking, and I stop dwelling upon unnecessarily tasks. I laser focus myself on a specific target and make it better. Okay, that's it. That's how we are going to keep production of our videos under 10 hours and our recording session under 90 minutes. Okay, so that's the idea behind, and it really helps me. Over the years, I feel much more inspired, less exhausted, and I have a desire to put another hour into my clock. You understand? So it's like I can't wait to put another hour. So I went to this point that sometimes I have 30 minutes before the next event. So what do? I jump with pleasure and excitement towards that music piece, because I know that I'm going to tweak a bunch of things and walk away with ease and comfort. I really recommend it. It works for me. It may work for you as well. Like any YouTube channel, we go through different stages. And we open the channel, we want it to happen, but we don't know exactly what the channel is about. It's like the whole transition takes place. Over the year, we went through different designs of our logo. by accident, I came across that herb, and turns out it's my cousin, my mother's brother's son. He's the owner of this herb since my mother married my father. And basically, we had a conversation. He allowed me to use it. So it's a wonderful thing because the herb is original and it's related to my mother's side, the family tree. And since she's not with us any longer, it allows me to be kind of closer to her in a way. And at the same time, you know, the history behind it, it's wonderful. And the whole journey, kind of like I become the extension of that beautiful tradition. So, yeah, so new herb, very excited about it. And it kind of feels right to us. When we start having a conversation about the arrangement and composition, we realize that without a specific structure and certain ideas, we could get very easily lost. I know that music is organic, and I know the music can be spiritual. However, if you want to have control over so many instruments, we need to follow certain rules. The rules exist for purpose to be broken. Of course, we are gonna stretch these rules as much as possible. But everything we do to the music, it's immersed in a certain technique. You know, like a close voicing technique, drop 2, drop 3, so on. You know, despite that we are gonna use the melodic tensions and harmonic tensions, there is a certain harmony movement and logic, how the voices interact with each other. So there's a tremendous engine of theory behind that will, right? But we are still looking for that natural way of following the music. Let me know what you think. Until then, my name is Piotr Kowalczyk. I will see you next time.